Oh my, what did you just have done? Well, what did I have done? I had the carbon NIZER and the SLUDGE NIZER from Japan. I have no idea what that is, but it's been done to this vehicle. What do we got? We got my SG5 2004 vehicle, 2-liter turbo, manual transmission. What are we changing out? The famous power steering return line, suction hose suction line from here. You can see I got 2 clamps on, but I'm going to change those out obviously. From the power steering pump, which is right there, down to the reservoir, which is down there. Let's see if I can get a better shot of that. Yeah. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to undo it here. I'm going to undo it there. That's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to take the reservoir. There's a clip right on the back, and I'm going to pull the whole unit up. But first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my handy dandy needle, and I'm going to pull the fluid out of here. Just try to minimize as much fluid loss as I can, and not make a big mess everywhere. And the sun's behind me, and there we go. So suction hose, there's part number. Got it right from Japan, or right from my Subaru dealer. No problem. Hey, it was a few days to get it, but there we go. It's a it's Yokohama. Look at that. That's pretty cool. So anyway, step 1, drain this out. Let's get going. I'm going to pull that fluid out of there. Okay, hopefully you can see this. I'm just using this 3/8 hose. There's a big needle and just pulling the fluid out. Now the reservoir. Again, just to minimize my mess and my loss of fluid. I'm not worried about the loss of fluid because I do have an extra liter of power steering fluid. Kicking around here. And make sure you use proper power steering fluid for these things. Get it from Subaru. Don't use an aftermarket. Don't use anything else. There we go. That's probably about the maximum fluid that I'm going to get out of here. But yeah, Subaru fluid. Synthetic Subaru power steering fluid. Go read the reviews. Go read the forums. Go read your owner's manual. Don't chimp out. Don't cheap out on this one. Okay. There we go. Next step, get the clamps off. Okay, so we've got the belt cover off here. It's moved off to the side, just up out of, probably out of the picture here, but that's okay. Hose clamps are pulled back. There's the hose that we want to get off, obviously. So I'm going to try this. This hose is rock hard. It's unbelievable how, like, there's no flex to this hose. So carefully, because right there, that's an aluminum housing. Right there, that's aluminum housing. You don't want to bust that right now. So all I'm going to do is just slowly, work it. As I'm spinning it, I'm pulling on it at the same time. Boy, that sounded really technical, didn't it? Yeah. Here we go. Let's put it up. There we go. Using a lot of force to pull too. There we go. Because you'll see that it's got a pretty long fitting. It probably goes all the way out to about here, and then it's not a barbed fitting, but it could be. But we'll find out here right away again. Nice and easy. Wow, I am pulling on this thing here, so people coming out of my house while I'm videotaping, but that's okay. We're moving along here nicely with the camera going. Don't kick that though.
Yeah, I can shake it.
No, don't kick that. Telling people not to kick my oil can over there. Okay, look at that. There we go. Nice and easy. Oh, big mess. Big stinking mess. Where's my rags? gonna hold the hose up so everything drains down into the reservoir down there. That should be fine now. Okay, we're gonna have to clean that up. Let's get a rag, let's get that done. And the second one, oh, there's my cover. Moved it out of the way. Second one right there. I've already moved it just a little bit, but that's coming off next, and we'll show you that in a moment. What? I gotta go get a rag. Okay, so we've got this line off, main line up, main suction line. We're gonna do this right now. You can see I moved it off a little bit already here, and we're gonna pull the reservoir and lines straight out. So you are gonna have a little bit of a mess. Have some type of cleaner, maybe some brake cleaner by handy, so you can spray down any oiled areas, you get any power steering fluid on your belts or anything. So there's a little clip right there. Bing, bing. Just move that back, pull this straight up. That's going to be our next step right now. This is not my underwear, by the way. Okay, here's a little tip for you. Get the reservoir out of its holder here first, pulling this back. Pull the reservoir up in order to get this line off, to get more access to it. Why? Because this thing is super long, and there's your barb on the end, so it's on like all the way up to here, so it doesn't give you a lot of room to pull the line off. So remove this, everything comes out nice and easy. There we go. So next step is I'm just going to pull this thing out of here. Okay, here we go. We've got the reservoir off, old line, new line. Gonna double clamp each end, make sure everything's good. This old line, rock hard. Boy, this thing here is the least pliable. You can squeeze it and move it and bend it and everything. The other one's just gonna crack. Careful when you're taking off the hose off of the fitting, the end there. It's a plastic tank. You don't want to bust it and have to go out and replace the reservoir as well. So let's get going. Getting her back together. Okay, reservoir is back in. Line is being put on. There we go. Just got to put this one on right here. Like I said, I'm going to double clamp it. Just take your time doing that kind of stuff there. There we go. That's better. I'm blocking the sunlight now. That's it. Squeeze this thing on. Now, when you're bleeding the system, this is a little bit different. Let's get out of the light here. This is a little bit different. To bleed this power steering system, to get fluid through the system, you need to raise the car, get the wheels off the ground, and then without starting the engine, do not start the engine, turn the steering wheel left and right, lock to lock. You must do this. Watch your fluid level. It's going to decrease, it's going to go down. That way there you're filling up the power steering pump, so it's not starting on a dry pump. So you want to do this, cycle the wheel like 30, 40 times. You know what? Take 10 minutes and just do it. That's what you got to do. So that's almost the next step here, that what I'm going to be doing. So let's get going and get this line back on here. Okay, next step, final step. Top up your reservoir, jack your vehicle up, and do this without starting the engine. Just back and forth on the wheel. You're bleeding out the air out of the reservoir, or out of the lines I should say, pulling the fluid out of the reservoir, cycling it through the lines into the pump, into the rack, because you know how these Subarus are with their fluid noises, power steering noises, unless you have a vacuum pump, but I do not. Left and right. Nice steady pace. Go check your fluid levels. You'll see bubbles in the fluid, in the reservoir. That's a good sign. We're going to bring this back to center. Ugh. Let's go and take a look. See where we're at. You look down inside there. Not sure if the camera will pick it up, but you can see some bubbles. Some bubbles. Check where your level is, and you want to do that for probably a good 10 minutes. Get it done. This is what you got to do. Then start it up, listen for noises, check your fluid levels. Everything's good to go. Like, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff. Thanks for watching.